call.
All right, Lowell, thank you, and we welcome you to Athens, Georgia, and the SEC on ESPN. It is rivalry week presented by Cisco, and tonight a rare non-conference matchup this late in the campaign. The Atlantic 10 Xavier Musketeers eyeing their 6th straight NCAA tournament appearance. Tonight they take on a Georgia side that's efforting a ticket to the big dance for the first time since 2008. Both teams with identical 16-6 marks. Both with RPIs that should get them to the NCAA tournament. And both, according to ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi, are in the tournament for now, at least. We know a lot can happen between now and Selection Sunday. Rob Stone, Jay Williams here with you. 29 days until Selection Sunday. Both of these programs, Jay, figure to have their names called on that day. But today's matchup will go a long way to determine how high or how low their seeds may be.
Well, I think this game has some major NCAA tournament implications for each team, considering both can use some validation. Georgia, their lone signature win came a month ago from today on this court versus Kentucky. Xavier does not have a signature win as of yet, so this game is huge for both potential at-large bids.
Take a look at tonight's Star Watch, and for the Musketeers, how junior point guard 2 Holloway goes is how they go lately.
Well, 2 Holloway is a guard that can do it in transition and dominate you in a screen and roll. And Jeremy Price, yes, he's not the star like a Travis Leslie or a Trey Tompkins, but he's a guy that gets garbage points, 22 points and 14 rebounds in that overtime win versus Auburn.
Starting 5 for the visitors, sophomore Mark Lyons, second on the team, 13.8 points per game. Junior 7-foot center Kenny Freeze, a constant double-double threat. A mature starting lineup for Georgia, 4 juniors, 1 senior. The dynamic Travis Leslie, always a Sports Center top play nominee waiting to happen. He is second on the team with over 14 points a game. SEC taking on Atlantic 10. There is Travis Leslie, the 6'4 junior from Decatur on your right. And the Musketeers, a big road trip for them as they enter SEC country. And this game for Xavier kicking off a very challenging 3-game road swing. Sunday they take on the team they're tied for atop the A10, Duquesne, on the road. And Xavier will win the tip. And the Musketeers in the all-blue going right to left.
In order for Xavier to have a chance, they have to dominate the boards. Georgia has a plus 5.8 rebounding margin. They will kill you with second chance opportunities.
Xavier gets it down low to the 7-footer. Freeze backs in. Blocked by the basket. Good defense there by Jeremy Price. Here is Price coming off a big game. And he is short on the lefty effort.
Well, both teams right out of the gate trying to establish their low post presence. Both teams want to play inside out.
Playing the jumper, too strong. Big board by Robinson. Here is Leslie. Loses his man. Nice look. The hoop won't go, though. Another miss by Price. He's a quick 0 for 2. Lyons from 3, short. Another chance for the Musketeers. And McLean will get that one to go. Jamil McLean, second in the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage and rebounds with an offensive board, and then gets the bucket.
And McLean at 6'8" has great body control. You have to like the fact that Xavier is taking their time on the block with those low post possessions.
Georgia, an 0 for 3 start from the floor. McLean stripped. And immediate pressure by Mark Lyons forces the turnover. Lyons takes it to the hole, gets mugged. And he is still down. Hard foul there by Price on Lyons.
Well, Lyons right here getting after it defensively. And this is what you want from your guard. He understands the contact is going to come. He jumps off 2 feet, does not leave himself hanging in the air, and is ready to embrace the contact. Almost got an and one.
That's 195 versus 270. 271. But 195 will go to the line, aching a little bit.
Well, Mark Lyons is a sophomore. He's really a junior, had to sit out his freshman year. because transferring over. But over his last 6 games, he's averaged 18.3 points, and he's really been shooting well from the free throw line, surprising considering he's shooting 83%.
He had made 22 straight free throws until that miss right there.
And sometimes as a guard, when you take a blow like that from a big man, it can knock the wind out of you. You should take your time, step off the free throw line, then come back, compose yourself, then knock down the free throw.
First sub of the game, Jeff Robinson comes off the bench, and Lyons limps to the bench. And he goes immediately to the floor, and he will be tended to. So we'll keep an eye on that one as Mark Lyons in a considerable amount of pain. Looks like his left hip area. Georgia still trying to get on the board. Robinson, the penetration, lost it, gained it back. Dustin Ware. Leslie will go to the line.
First off, you have to like the move by Mark Fox and his team. Whoever Kenny Freeze is guarding, as far as big men, if that's Jeremy Price or Trey Tompkins, they're going to come up and set a high ball screen, really make Kenny Freeze try to guard the guard coming up that screen on the perimeter.
Mark Fox in his second year at Georgia, seeking his 31st win here in Athens. He's done a wonderful job building this program back up. And they are a side that could be one of 6 from the SEC that goes to March Madness. Again, Xavier going down low, then kick it out. McLean partially blocked by Tompkins. Robinson, the alley and the oop. Tompkins sends it in. And the first lead tonight for Georgia.
Georgia also blitzing every screen and roll. Not going to allow guys like Dante Jackson or Holloway to come off that screen looking for their shot.
Holloway without a field goal attempt. Here's his first from 3, way off target. Robinson pushing the pace. Leslie, the easy bucket, but it's blocked. They'll call it goaltending.
And a little miscommunication defensively. You're gonna, well, not first. You're gonna see the block from Tompkins, and you wish they would have used their left hand. And then the back screen right here for the alley. Tompkins able to finish it down, but that last play is what you wanted to see. Georgia wants to push the ball in transition. That's where they want to attack. The key, talking to Chris Mack today earlier, we cannot take rush shots. You take rush shots, it allows Georgia to get the rebound and push the ball in transition.
Turnover. Georgia trying to add to their lead. And they turn it right back over to Xavier. Robinson with the carry. Robinson's first 2 years collegiately spent at Tennessee State in Nashville, and then transferred here. His dad, the tennis coach there at Tennessee State. He has been a big, impactful player for Georgia this season. A large part of their success. And coming out of a pile of bodies is McLean with a slam. And McLean now with 4 points to lead Xavier.
And when you trap Holloway off that screen, you cannot come out lackadaisically. You have to come out and really blitz him. You can't open up as a big man. He does a great job of splitting that screen, getting towards the basket and making something occur.
Leslie to Barnes, and one. Timeout on the court. Xavier down by 3. Trey Tompkins attacking it on both ends of the floor. And then Travis Leslie, the vision, Barnes, the hoop and the harm. Go together, we are the Human Network. Xavier, one of only 12 schools with 5 straight NCAA tournament appearances, trying to make it 6th straight, and they are down 3 early here in Athens.
And Holloway is one of the best guards in the country coming up that screen and roll. If you're going to blitz that screen and roll, you cannot allow that gap between you and the other defender. You have to close it in. He was absolutely able to kill Richmond with 33 points in that game by getting in the teeth of the defense, not only creating that little jump shot for himself, but also passing the ball to his big man and to Mark Lyons to knock down 3-point shots.
Here is Chris Barnes off the bench trying to cap a 3-point play, and he does.
And, you know, when you look at Georgia, they've had so many close games. They were able to win a lot of these games, but a 2-point win over Mississippi Valley State, 2-point win over St. Louis, 3-point win over Manhattan, 3-point win over Mercer. So at times they can play down to the level of their competition.
Freeze the jumper. We'll get that one to drop. Now, Georgia's had their fair share of close games as well. In fact, 13 of their 22 games you can consider close. They've either gone to overtime or a 2-possession margin inside the final minute of play. An easy bucket down low there for Tompkins.
Well, Tompkins just able to take advantage of McLean. The little backdoor cut, using that quick feet on the perimeter.
Lyons back on the floor for Xavier. Jackson will rattle in the 3-ball.
And Jackson is a guy they need to start to make 3-point shots. Last year he shot 43%. This year he's really been struggling, shooting 32%. But once again, Holloway able to get in the middle gap of that zone, of that defense, and create shots for his teammates.
Holloway loves to spend some time in the paint. What a great penetrator he is. One of the top point guards in the land, certainly in your eyes, and a lot of others. You list him as an easy top 10 point guard?
I would give it to him. He's one of 4 players to average 20 points and more than 5 assists. Good company with Nolan Smith, Charles Jenkins, and Norris Cole of Cleveland State.
Tompkins, as the shot clock was about to expire, short on that effort. Here's Holloway. McLean. Running hook won't go. Another board for Tompkins. Robinson across midcourt. Robinson to Leslie. Quick hands almost caused the turnover. Leslie in the paint. Floater does not get the roll. Loose ball tracked down by Xavier. Little spin and the lay-in. The hip looks fine for Mr. Lyons. Mark
Lyons is so fast with the basketball. Like I said, 18.3 points over his last 6 games. In that loss to Charlotte, he had 25 points, but one of the most difficult players to stop in the A-10 in transition.
Second leading scorer on the team, 15th best scorer in the A-10 this year is Lyons. And Xavier with a 1-point lead. And they'll try and add to it with this trip down the court. Here's Holloway with the ball, the leading scorer in the A-10. Gets it down low to Freeze, and a quick little spin. Uses the glass, and Xavier up by 3.
Freeze doing a really good job of sprinting from rim to rim. And once he got down there, he automatically sealed his man on his hip.
Oh, my Lord. An audacious alley-oop attempt intended for Leslie.
And Mark Lyons in transition with a quick little spin move. Really hard to stop in transition. And then Freeze posting up, gets the guy on his block, on his hip, and able to make that little soft over the left shoulder hook shot. You know, he's 3rd in the A-10 in field goal percentage, shooting 55% from the floor, and a lot of that is due to Holloway getting so deep in the zone.
Holloway off target there. Robinson, quick change of speed and gets the layup. Holloway from 3.
And if you watch Georgia's offense, their guards set a ton of screens. They understand if you set a screen on a big man, you're eventually going to be open.
Oh, crafty reverse layup by Barnes, the assist to Sherrod Brantley. And the lead goes back to Georgia. Barnes now with 5 points off the Bulldog bench. On the shot clock, Holloway goes down low. McLean. And the foul on Barnes. First foul on Barnes. Travis Leslie and Georgia on top by 1. More about the dynamic Leslie when we return. We welcome you back to the SEC on ESPN. This is Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Rob Stone, Jay Williams back here with you in Athens. And Travis Leslie, such a dynamic player, one of the most athletic players in the conference. He also knows the game.
Well, you're going to see a little quick play right here off the flex cut. Travis Leslie, let's break it down even furthermore. Jeremy Price pops out, and there's 2 options, all depending on how you guard Travis Leslie. If you play down low or if you try to raise up on him, option 1, Trey Tompkins will come to the back screen. You have an alley right towards the basket for an ESPN highlight play. Option 2, if you play low, he's going to hit you with a quick flex cut. He's going to go right into the rim for a nice, easy layup. Jeremy Price, he turns, he sees the court, makes a nice little quick play. Travis Leslie for a layup. They run a ton of that flex action. And also, Jarrett Robinson, Travis Leslie, Dustin Ware are so good at setting screens for their big men. They set a screen for their big men. They force the guard to help. As soon as you help, they'll pop out or flare out for a quick 3.
Jamel McLean will pop the glasses on top of his head for his free throw effort. And that one's nothing but net. McLean, the senior from Hampton, Virginia, began his collegiate career at the University of Tulsa. And this to give Xavier the lead.
Whenever you hear somebody talk about Jamel McLean, they say the same thing. He's going to give you continuous energy and effort on both the offensive and defensive end, and he'll probably have 12 points and 9 rebounds.
7 double-doubles this season for McLean, 13 double-figure games scoring, 11 double-figure rebounding games. A little inside out, Price backing his big body in and a little too strong on the layup effort. Holloway will chase down the loose ball. Nice look and an easy bucket. Andrew Taylor, the recipient of the feed from Holloway. Holloway, his 5 assists per game, 2nd in the A-10. He also leads the conference in scoring and free throw percentage.
Well, nothing seems rushed with 2 Holloway, and that's what you want from your point guard.
There's Tompkins, another easy bucket down low for him, and Xavier comes up. Tompkins with 6 points to lead all scorers thus far. Lions way off target.
And those are one of the shots that Chris Mack and his company they do not want. You do not want a quick 3-point shot with 29 seconds left in the shot clock. Get the ball down low or let Holloway work his way inside the paint.
Another bucket for Tompkins, who now has 8.
I don't think Mr. Tompkins is sick anymore.
Yeah, a virus went through the Georgia team about a week and a half ago. They won in overtime versus Auburn over the weekend, but it was a team that was really physically drained. But it looks like it's kind of run its course through the team, and they've got a little more pep in their step than they did when they really struggled with Auburn over the weekend. Offensive foul. And Xavier will take over. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Coverage continues tomorrow night with a doubleheader here on the U. How about we get our guys, Reese Davis, Bob Knight, and Digger Phelps, finally working. You know, they don't do enough, do they, right? So now we send them on the road at 7 Eastern. Number 15, Louisville, taking on number 7, Notre Dame. Those guys will have the call of that one. And at 9, Texas A&M taking on Colorado. Rivalry Week presented by Cisco on ESPNU tomorrow night. I don't think Reese Davis has ever had an assignment he's turned down in his life.
Hardest working man in the industry.
second. Georgia off the turnover. Robinson from 3 is short.
And that was a really bad shot. If anything in that situation, you push the ball in transition, put the ball on the ground, and attack the rim.
And another lead change and another bucket from Freeze. 6th lead change tonight.
You know, watching Kenny Freeze play, you can see his game just continuing to elevate. I think last year going against Jason Love every single day in practice really helped him get better as a post player. He always seems to take his time on the block.
Freeze has pretty good feet for a 7-footer. Another easy bucket down low for Tompkins. Andrew Taylor is just overmatched down low.
And if I'm Georgia, I'm going to continue to give the ball down to Trey Tompkins. He scored the last 4 possessions.
Tompkins now in double figures. Freeze with the screen. Holloway. Freeze. I think the big man was thinking about that 3 ball for a second. Better option is Jackson, and he drops that one, and another lead change. As Xavier now on top by 2.
Well, the coaching staff for Xavier is really excited to see Dante Jackson start shooting the ball with confidence. He needs to be that 3rd option offensively.
Tompkins forced that one down low to Barnes. Xavier with numbers. Lions, Freeze takes the body, no call. Big man can't be taking the body, he's got to be dishing the body. Robinson. Ware able to track that one down. 10 on the shot clock, 6.5 left in the first. Ware from 3, off target again, and Freeze with the rebound. Georgia without a 3-point bucket tonight.
And that's exactly what Xavier wants. They want Georgia to play half-court basketball. At times, it looks like Georgia is stagnant offensively in their half-court sets.
Holloway with the turnover, last touched by Ware, and he'll stay with Xavier when we return. Back and forth affair. We've had 7 lead changes. Trey Tompkins leading all scorers with 10. But it's Xavier on top, courtesy of that 3 ball.
By 2, Rob.
Thank you, Lowell. 43 Big Ten championships between those 2 programs, and a lot of high expectations for Purdue coming into the season. Significant injury, those expectations got lowered, but boy, Purdue playing well. So is Kenny Freeze, but the big man not using his big body here.
Well, you're seeing Mark Lyons push the ball up. You deliver the ball to your 7-footer. You're going against Trey Tompkins in that situation, who's 6'9". You don't want to bring the ball back down to his level. Keep your arms extended, be strong, and embrace that contact, and go up to try to dunk the basketball. And as a point guard, that's the kind of play that you need your big man to make in transition. That can get him going offensively.
Freeze with another bucket. A team high 8 points for the junior from Massillon, Ohio. Freeze has had double-figure scoring games in 7 of his last 8 contests. He's been in double figures 15 times this season. He's 1 bucket away from making it 16. Leslie, short. And Freeze too strong on that effort. It'll stay with Georgia.
Well, Kenny Freeze also last year when they played K-State in the NCAA tournament, Chris Mack couldn't use Kenny Freeze as much as he wanted to because he was about 30 pounds overweight. The young man this summer lost 30 pounds. Now he has the confidence, understanding that he's in condition to play at an elite level, and also defensively, he's not caught out of position due to his lack of conditioning.
He's got a guy that he's a guy now that the NBA scouts are aware of.
And there's a lot of NBA scouts in the building as well.
Yeah, we dined with several of them today. About 3 guys on the court right now who have big-time NBA potential. Holloway is one of them. Freeze may find his way into that conversation. Quick hands there by Price, forcing the turnover. Robinson, spin, short. Loose ball, bump of bodies. It'll go to Xavier.
And what great defense by Holloway in that situation. That's what you're taught to do when you're trying to close out defensively. You're seeing the bump and shoulder right there of Gerald Robinson. I mean, that could have been a foul called on Mr. Robinson going the other way, but Holloway, when you're taught transition defense, you're taught to stunt at your man, not to play flat-footed. When he stunted at Robinson, Robinson tried to make a move, and he was able to help him recover that quickly.
Rob Stone, Jay Williams with here from Athens, Georgia. Non-conference matchup. Duquesne and Xavier on top of the A-10 right now. This is Xavier in the blue taking on the SEC's Georgia Bulldogs, and a burst of energy and speed from Leslie, and a bucket for him will give him 6.
Well, Travis Leslie at 6'5" made Kenny Freeze seem, even though he's 7 foot, like a 6'2" player. Just guying over the bigger defender.
Leslie, a guy with big-time NBA potential. Holloway without a field goal today. He is the leading scorer, not only for the team, but for the entire Atlantic 10 Conference. Tough ball away, won't go. Big board, Tompkins. Price. Freeze will come up with it. Poor pass intercepted, and the official ran in to Robinson. Official is still down. Xavier with it. McLean fouled by Tompkins. A bizarre series of events.
Well, the fans are booing, but there's no way the official could get out of that one in enough time. He's not that quick. Seeing Jared Robinson gets his steal right here and trips right up with the official, and there's nothing you could do with that.
So Georgia down 2, 3:21 to go in the first. Thank you, Lowell. Yeah, big news about Washawn Ely. You'll cover it at halftime. Their leading rusher last year. The good news, though, for Georgia, last week they signed the #1 running back prospect in the country, Isaiah Crowell. So take the good, Crowell, say it's the good with the bad. I'll be able to fully, properly pronounce his name once he becomes a collegiate player. Once you're, I don't care about you in high school. You got to get to college.
I feel like every time I'm with you,
oh boy,
if it's Auburn, if it's Georgia, Alabama, you start talking about football.
Actually, see, I thought you would say I'd start talking about soccer or bowling. We hung out with the Georgia women's soccer team today here on the court here at Stegman Coliseum. Played a spirited little game.
And you were dying to get out there and show your footwork.
And who won?
Yes, you won.
Thank you, Jay. McLean at the free throw line. We'll get that one to bounce in.
And so far for Xavier, the rebounding margin is even. They've done a really good job of keeping Georgia off the offensive glass. Georgia with only 2 offensive rebounds. And Kenny Freeze has been having his way with 8 first-half points. Just really taking his time on the block and really capitalizing off the penetration from Holloway.
Nice vision down low, an easy bucket for Jeremy Price, who comes into this game after a 22-point, 14-rebound effort over the weekend in the victory versus Auburn. Both of those numbers career highs for him. Good defense by Tompkins. The follow won't go. Robinson keeps it alive. Finds Ware.
This is the Georgia team that has been on the cusp of winning so many big-time games. We did their game against Tennessee. They lost at a buzzer-beater shot from Brian Williams. Florida goes into double overtime. They had a chance to win that game as well.
Tompkins triple team down low and a turnover. Holloway still without a field goal tonight. He had a quiet first half over the weekend and then turned it on in the second half. He had 24 points in their win Saturday versus St. Louis, 20 of them coming in the second half.
But that shows you the maturation of Holloway. In the first half, he didn't force his shots. He kept giving the ball down low to Kenny Freeze. Kenny Freeze had 12 points. Then after the half, they made adjustments. St. Louis started double team Kenny Freeze, and that's when Holloway took the game over.
Lions to Holloway. Lions from 3, short. McLean, strong offensive board, backs his way in, blocked. Jump ball possession for Georgia.
And you're still waiting for Jamel McLean to use a head fake. It seems like he keeps trying to jump up and out jump the defenders of Georgia. Just give a little quick head fake, get somebody in the air. If that's Barnes, if that's Tompkins, and jump into them, create the contact, get to the free throw line.
Two teams, a combined 2 for 10 from three-point land tonight, Jay. Georgia 0 for 4. Robinson through the paint and gets that one to go. And another lead change, the 9th of the evening. Quick hands by Robinson, almost forced the turnover. Here's Freeze, back in Price. Tompkins. Lost his balance there a little bit.
And that's what happens with Trey Tompkins sometimes. He scored 4 possessions in a row about 6 minutes ago and hasn't touched the ball since. So when he does finally get the ball, at times it seems to rush because he hasn't touched it in so long.
Those 10 points lead all scores, though, and Georgia on top by 1. ESPN, the home court of college hoops, and Saturday on the U, we got 2 great games. First, at 7 Eastern, New Jersey bragging rights on the line. I just read what the copy says. Rutgers taking on Seton Hall. They're playing for the Snooki Cup. Then at 9 Eastern, Kansas State and Colorado. It's all part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco. You like that one?
Did you say Snooki Cup?
The Snooki Cup.
Jersey Shore, wow.
Right?
Thought we work for ESPN, not MTV.
I'm a man of many media platforms. Bruce Pearl returns to the sideline in SEC play tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN as Tennessee takes on Kentucky. Tomorrow on ESPN, North Carolina back in the top 25, but they will really be tested in Durham at number 5. Duke tomorrow, and some mid-majors on the bubble. Yes, it is officially bubble season. We can talk about it ad nauseum should we choose. Both of these schools quite on the bubble. They are in the tournament. You have to feel if today was Selection Sunday, but a victory here tonight would go a long way to help both of their resumes. McLean backs in, can't get it to go. The second chance blocked by Tompkins. Turnover. Long outlet. Oh, great hustle by Dustin Ware to break it up.
And Georgia does such a good job of pushing you off that block. And like we spoke about before, McLean not utilizing head fakes. He's trying to out-jump the defensive foundation of Georgia, which is Tompkins and Barnes. And these guys are extremely athletic, who have a great understanding of timing. They wait for him to leave his feet, and as soon as he leaves his feet, they go up for the block.
5 Georgia blocks tonight, 0 for Xavier. Both of these teams coming into this kind of rare late season non-conference matchup with matching 16-6 records. The conference record, Xavier tied atop the A-10 with Duquesne. Georgia at 5-4. That's good enough for 3rd in the loaded SEC East. RPIs very similar. Strength of schedule, that'll start swinging in Georgia's favor soon. Saturday, Georgia's at South Carolina. Then it's Vandy, Tennessee, and Florida next on their schedule. SEC in the RPI, top 100 right now. And so you look at this list, you have to say the top 5 are good bets to go to the NCAA tournament. Joe Lenardi has Alabama going as well.
I would say the locks as of right now are Kentucky and Florida. I think, Tennessee is one of those teams that you're still trying to figure out, but wins, over Pitt, wins over Villanova, Memphis, that definitely helps the cause. And when you think about Georgia, all their losses have came against ranked opponents in the top 35 as far as RPI, and 5 out of those 6 top 35 RPI opponents were in the top 25, so no bad losses on the year.
Xavier will hold for the last shot. We are at 17 seconds left in the first half. The road team down 1. Holloway, the team's leading scorer, without a point tonight. Pressure by Robinson. Jackson leans in, and it won't go, and Georgia will go to the locker room on top, 27-26. Trey Tompkins, a force on both sides of the court. Several blocks and a game-high 10 points to go along with 5 rebounds. So Georgia and Xavier separated by just 1, and here's Lo Galindo for the SportsCenter U halftime report. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. It is rivalry week presented by Cisco, and through the first 20 minutes, 2 16-6 teams are separated by just 1 point. We've had 9 lead changes in this one already. Rob Stone, Jay Williams here with you, and Xavier down 1 at the road, and their leading scorer without a field goal. They have to be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Well, Chris Mack said they had to win the rebounding margin. They're only down 1 in that department. And secondly, they had to stop Georgia from getting fast break. Georgia only with 4 fast breaks so far in this game.
To Holloway without a field goal. He is the leading scorer, not only for Xavier, but for the entire A-10 conference. So we're set for second half action between 2 teams trying to up their tournament resume. Both teams checking in at 16-6. Xavier will start the second half, and here's Holloway, who's made a habit of slow starts and turning it on in the second half. He had 20 of his 24 points in Saturday's win versus St. Louis in the second half. And there is to Holloway. You may have known him last year by the name of Terrell Holloway, but that's his nickname too. He's been lobbying to go by 2 for a long time, and they finally gave in. Mark Lyons, 8 on the shot clock. Jackson gives it up. Freeze with 3 on the shot clock. The big man, the fall away and the touch. And another lead change, 10th of the game. And Freeze now with 10 points. He and Tompkins, the only 2 players in double figures tonight. And
Freeze so far tonight has given Xavier a low post, consistent threat. He's a guy that you can throw the ball down to. He can take advantage of mismatches due to his 7-foot height.
Freeze with his 16th double-figure scoring game of the season. 7 on the shot clock. Price, too strong. Tompkins can't latch onto it. It'll be Xavier. And the Musketeers trying to add to their 1-point lead. Go down low to Freeze. Might have gotten a little contact, no call. Leslie, nice look, easy bucket. Tompkins give him a dozen.
And Leslie, because of his athleticism, is able to draw so much attention. All eyes are going to be on Mr. Leslie. It's going to leave people for Georgia wide open.
11th lead change tonight. We knew these 2 teams were very evenly matched, identical records, very similar RPIs. Both teams are in the lower end of the NCAA tournament field right now. Leslie, outlet, Robinson, swatted away, but he'll pick up the foul. Not a whole lot of fouls tonight. In fact, there were just 6 fouls called in the first half. No player with more than 2. Georgia with 7 turnovers and a 10-point advantage in the points in the paint department.
And that's where Georgia is always going to have the advantage because of their girth down low. Price and Tompkins really good at carving out space, getting rebounds. They continue to fight on the glass. But you have to like the moxie of Mark Lyons. I mean, the young man at 6 foot goes up and blocks Gerald Robertson at 6'3". I mean, you kind of like that fighting tenacity from your point guard.
Robinson gets both free throws to drop. Bulldogs up by 3. Holloway, swatted by Tompkins. And some energy here at Stegman Coliseum. Ware trying to capitalize on it. And Georgia will pull out. Price working freeze, loses it. He'll pick up the foul.
Holloway so fast with the basketball, able to get in the paint, but Tompkins coming over from the weak side in the blind spot of to Holloway. They just can't see him, and that's his third block of the game. And Trey Tompkins is really starting to come into his own offensively. This game he's been really assertive so far in the first half, had 10 points, had two blocks as well. So doing it on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively.
Price, a 74% free throw shooter, misses the first effort. Georgia with a 7-0 advantage in the blocks category tonight. So this will match Georgia's largest lead of the evening at 4. And another miss by Holloway.
And if you watch the motions and cuts by Georgia, everything seems sharp and crisp.
Tompkins too strong. He tracked that down, but his foot was out of bounds. So it'll go to Xavier.
And Georgia's always looking to attack in transition. That is their bread and butter. That's where they get a lot of easy transition points. But really been impressed so far in this game by their ability to see that the transition basket isn't there all the time, and they pull the ball out, they make crisp passes and crisp cuts.
Let's see where the points will come from for Xavier right now as Kenny Freeze goes to the bench to get a much-needed blow, and Andrew Taylor in. Lyons through the paint and gets the little finger roll.
And Mark Lyons is so explosive. He's so athletic. Watching him today during shoot-around, he's constantly attacking and playing above the rim. And when a young man puts it all together, when he starts to make shots, that's the complete package.
Lyons with 5 points tonight, well below his season average of 13.8. Both these teams really working hard defensively. Ware will give up the 3, attack it, give it to Leslie. And Leslie will pick up the foul. So not a lot of fouls in the first half, a lot of whistles here in the second.
And Mark Lyons is shooting 45% in A-10 games from the three-point line, so you have to play up on him defensively. But he also has the ability to put the ball down on the ground with the explosion to attack the rim.
This will be a non-shooting foul. And Georgia thought they were going to be going to the free throw line to try and add to their 2-point lead. Slapped out of the hands of Ware. It'll stay with Georgia.
And so far in the first half, Travis Leslie only got to the free throw line once. He has the body where he should get to the free throw line 9 to 10 times a game.
Off the Robinson miss. McLean and Leslie with the little bump that gets the crowd into it. Georgia on top by 2, 15:48 to go. Of college basketball is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. Doubleheader of hoops tomorrow night on ESPNU. First at 7 Eastern. Reese Davis, Bob Knight, Digger Phelps will be on hand in South Bend as number 15 Louisville takes on Ben Hansborough and number 7 Notre Dame. And then at 9 Eastern, Chris Middleton and Texas A&M head to Boulder to take on an upstart Colorado Buffalo team. All part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Big East has been loaded from the get-go, and not a lot of folks figured Connecticut would be in the top 10, but Pittsburgh and Notre Dame making this big late run here as well, up to number 7 in the land.
Well, Notre Dame is a really sharp and efficient basketball team. And Pittsburgh was very impressive the other night versus West Virginia. They played without Ashton Gibbs, but they still came out and they were able to close out that game. It's going to be key. He's going to be out 10 to 11 days due to an injury. So watch how Pitt just try to reform their team and play through that.
Lyons in the paint again. Turnover. Robinson all alone. He wins the sprint and sends it in. Xavier coming right back at you, though. And Georgia back well defensively. And another bucket by Lyons, who's been carrying them with Freeze on the bench and Holloway without a point.
And what a good explosive move to really dribble drive towards the baseline. Use that body and that strength to jump back up into the defender.
And Lyons now with 7 points. Tompkins double teamed. And a timeout called by Mark Fox and Georgia. Bulldogs on top by 2, under 15 to go in the second half. Back in Athens, where Georgia is seeking their 3rd straight victory. They're on top of Xavier by 2. Just moments ago, Trey Tompkins calling a timeout because of this situation.
Well, you're going to see the entry pass made to him. He's going to run up this high screen. He's going to catch the ball. And in this situation, when you get double teamed, what you want your big man to do, reverse pivot, turn, face the floor. You're taller than both of these defenders and make a pass. You do not want to put the ball on the ground and put yourself in a worse position by going closer to the corner. Turn, face, be bigger than your defender, and make a pass over the top. 22 is wide open.
You saw his head coach, Mark Fox, at the top of the screen. His reaction, very displeased by the use of a timeout right there. And a timeout could become very valuable in the later stages of this game, as it has gone back and forth all night long. We've had 11 lead changes. No lead has been greater than 4. And 5 on the shot clock. Ware drops a 3 ball. First made 3-pointer tonight for Georgia. This is a game, Jay, that is still trying to find its flow. Lyons on a roll, will get it to go, and the foul.
Got the basket for Lyons.
Well, Mark Lyons so good with that dribble drive situation like we talked about. He comes off the screen, he steps through. Gerald Robinson tries to take the charge, but he's sliding, obviously. It's going to be a blocking call, and good IQ by Lyons to understand that he was not in position and to go up strong.
So Lyons completes the 3-point play, and he is in double figures, as is Freeze for Xavier. Tompkins, the only man in double figures for Georgia. Just kind of keep waiting for Travis Leslie, #1 for Georgia, just start going off. Tompkins too strong, Jackson the board.
Well, you're waiting for Travis Leslie to go off. I'm waiting for Holloway to go off. He's still scoreless in this ball game.
Here's Holloway trying to get on the board. No dice again.
Xavier foul number 15, Andrew Taylor is second. The team scores.
Nothing has been easy for Holloway tonight. The team's leading scorer leads the A-10 in scoring, over 20 a game, but nothing tonight, Jay.
Well, also, this is a young man that gets to the free throw line about 5 to 6 times a game. And he has not gotten to the free throw line once this ball game. I think he needs to start attacking the rim, but when he attacks the rim, don't try to flip-flop a shot up there to get it over a defender. Go up strong with 2 hands and create contact.
Holloway, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, no points. Second chance effort won't go there for Leslie. Lyons. Jackson the fake. Cross-court pass, Holloway hesitated and drops the 3.
And his coach is telling him, shoot the first time, shoot the first time. But when you don't see the ball going for a while, you maybe might hesitate a little bit, but still you have to like the confidence by Holloway to take that shot.
You saw the sense of relief when that ball went in as well. Follow over the back by Price. And another lead change. Holloway. Let's see if he starts to get the green light a little bit more. Foul by Barnes. His second of the game.
Also the team second.
And Mark Lyons is so strong with the basketball. I mean, he was able to push Dustin Ware off with one hand to create space. And that kind of strength and explosion, that combination is something that can really help Mark Lyons get to the next level.
Here is Holloway averaging About 20 a game, has only 3, make it 5 and maybe 6. He has made his last 2 field goal attempts, and he is starting to light up Athens.
And the first rule you're taught defensively, you cannot allow a man to dance with the basketball. You send them towards your help, and that little change of speed right here, that little ball fake and step through is something that makes him a phenomenal basketball player.
Second foul on Price. Holloway now has 5 points. All of them coming here in the second half. Make it 6 points. 2 3-pointers, 1 3-point shot, 1 the old school 3-pointer. Strip and a turnover. And here's Lyons with his backcourt mate Holloway starting to light it up.
And they're going to continue to run screen and roll every time.
Down low to Freeze. He can't get it to go. Barnes the board. Ware pushing it for Georgia. Freeze steps out on him. Robinson. Nice board by Barnes. Puts his nose down, tries to get it to go. No dice.
In the last 3 possessions in a row for Georgia, Travis Leslie has not touched the basketball.
McLean the easy bucket. And the lead at 4 for Xavier, which ties their biggest lead of the night.
Xavier understands spacing. Both to Holloway and Mark Lyons understand that their bread and butter is a screen and roll scenario. It always puts the bigs of Georgia in an awkward position. Holloway right there, a little ball fake. The defender didn't close out with the arm extended, knock it down, then off the screen and roll, something that Holloway and Lyons have been able to do consistently throughout tonight.
Holloway, 5-time Atlantic 10 Player of the Week this season. Last week, he was the ESPN.com National Player of the Week. One of only 4 Division I players to average 20 points and 5 assists this season. Had a career-high 33 a couple weeks ago in that big win at Richmond.
And he's in pretty good company with that list as well. Nolan Smith from Duke, Charles Jenkins from Hofstra, and Norris Cole from Cleveland State.
You just remembered that list because it involved a Duke player.
No, I just love the game, my friend.
You're going to love a great game tomorrow night, 9 Eastern on ESPN. You will be there, Duke and Carolina from Durham. Ware to Tompkins. Robinson gets that one to go.
Heady play by Trey Tompkins. Put the ball on the ground. Great for a teammate. Even better play by Robinson with a backdoor cut.
McLean on Tompkins. In the paint. Little running hook won't go. The second chance, he's fouled. It'll be on Jeremy Price. And that'll be Price's 3rd foul. 2 16-6 teams fighting to improve their NCAA tournament resume are in a dogfight. Only 2 points separate Xavier and Georgia. Thank you, Lowell. We take a look at tonight's game track brought to you by Cisco. The kind of leading stat right now going in the clubhouse is 14 lead changes, just 1 tie, or as I like to call it, 1 draw so far.
You know what, Rob? If anybody had asked us before this game today that at the 10:50 mark, if Xavier would be up in this ball game versus Georgia with 2 Holloway only having 6 points, I think we both would have looked at them like they were crazy.
And those 6 points on 2 of 10 shooting, all 6 of those points for the A-10's leading scorer coming in the second half. McLean can't get the second one to go, so the lead is at 3 for the Musketeers. This game very important for both of these programs as far as the NCAA tournament is considered. Maybe more important for the road team, Xavier. Tompkins from 3. Kept alive. Leslie down low. Price backs in. Won't go. Another chance. Picks up the foul, this Price. And the big man working hard under the hole.
And you have to love the tenacity of Jeremy Price, just continuously hunting the basketball. That's the kind of play that got him 22 points and 14 rebounds in that game against Auburn. Now, let's understand this right now, that the score is 44-41 in Xavier's favor. But Georgia really struggles at the free throw line, shooting 67.5% for the year.
Price gets that one to rattle in. Deficit cut to 2. Both teams seeking their 17th win of the year. A victory that would be big on their NCAA tournament resume. Ten minutes to go from Athens. Holloway. Lions short. Price touched it last. It'll stay with Xavier. And a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
Well, Georgia going into a zone. Xavier saw a little bit of zone against Richmond, and that's where Holloway was really able to take over that basketball game with 33 points. You have to attack that zone by getting in the gaps.
Xavier just 3-4 on the road this season. This would be a huge road win if they could hold on. Holloway, pull up, in and out, follow. Tompkins brings it down for Georgia, and an outlet. Robinson, slowed down. Great D by Holloway. Leslie, Price, too strong.
And Mark Fox can only shrug his shoulders. You need to make those kind of chippy shots around the basket.
Trey Tompkins picks up his second foul. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Two great games on Saturday on the U. Rutgers taking on Seton Hall at 7 for New Jersey bragging rights. And at 9 Eastern, Alec Burks in Colorado looking for the regular season sweep against Kansas State. Rivalry week presented by Cisco on ESPNU Saturday. Freeze at the line for 2.
And when you look at Xavier as a team and their overall resume, I think if they're able to get a win tonight, that can really solidify them for a potential at-large bid. I mean, they've had some really good victories. 23-point win at Richmond, 11-point win over Temple, a 27 blowout over Rhode Island. They beat Butler head-to-head in case both of those teams might end up on the bubble. So this is probably going to be one of their most challenging games from this point on out. If you get a chance to beat Georgia, it really helps solidify you a spot, in my opinion.
3 A-10 teams went to the tournament last year. Leslie ties things up. Just our second tie of the evening. Lions, deep 3, got it!
And when Lyons comes off that screen, he puts Travis Leslie in a really precarious situation. Are you going to help on me, or are you going to stay there and help on Holloway? If you don't hedge at me, Mr. Lyons able to knock down the big tray.
And Lions now with a game-high 13 points after that 3-ball.
And this is the same exact play we just showed you on the breakdown. A little flex cut, he plays on the bottom half. Travis Leslie comes off, a nice easy layup. And then against the zone, he sets the screen. What are you going to do, Travis Leslie? Are you going to help or no? If you don't help, he knocks it down.
Xavier 3 of 11 from three-point land. Georgia just 1 of 9. And there is Mark Lyons, the sophomore from Schenectady, New York, the second leading scorer on the team, 15th leading scorer in the Atlantic 10, averaging just over 18 points over the course of the last 6 games.
And when you close out on either Holloway or Lyons, you can't close out with your arms down by your knees. You have to have an extended arm, at least let the player see his hands so you know that you can contest this shot.
Leslie gives up the dribble. Ware. Tompkins. Holloway won't go. McLean with the board. Here is Lyons. Holloway, 5 on the shot clock. That one's smacked out of his hands. It'll stay with the road team. It has been a tight one in Athens all night long. 2 ties and 14 lead changes. ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cisco. Together, we are the Human Network. Rob Stone, Jay Williams, welcoming you back to the University of Georgia, where the Dogs trail Xavier by 3.
And like we said, Mark Lyons, over his last 6 games, has averaged 18.3 points per game. And what they've been able to really capitalize on is out of a screen and roll scenario. Once again, they're playing the zone, a late extended hand. This young man has the confidence and has really been carrying the load, him and Kenny Freese both, in the absence of 2 Holloway offensively.
His 13 points lead all scores tonight. It's his 16th double-figure game this campaign. 5 on the shot clock as Xavier inbounds. Here's Lyons. Forced that one and off target. Chased down by Holloway.
Holloway averages 5 rebounds per game. When you can have your lead guard get big rebounds like that, these plays are the ones that can be critical down towards the end.
Lyons from 3 is short. Leslie Robinson to the head of steam. Pushed off his man, the ball pushed off his foot, and a turnover.
Well, if anything, I thought that was an offensive foul. You have to call that when you extend your left arm like that. And if you're a ref, you're going to see this push-off right here. You have to call that. That is an offensive foul.
Robinson may have gotten away with one, but regardless, it's the 9th Georgia turnover of the evening. Foul on the floor. So that'll be the 3rd foul on Trey Tompkins. Tompkins with 12 points, but only 2 in the second half.
Well, McLean at 6'8", 250 does such a good job of establishing his presence on the block. He seals you so low that he forces you to really try to body him, and if he can catch you off balance, he can fall back, get a quick foul.
Here's Lyons, who leads all scorers with 13 points. 10 have come in the second half. Holloway, all of his points have come in the second half. He won't get any on that trip. Robinson, as Tompkins tries to post up, and that'll be a foul on Dante Jackson. Third foul on Jackson. It's Chris Mack, the second-year head coach for Xavier, looks on. Georgia and Mark Fox make a sub, bringing on Jeremy Price. And Barnes will take a seat. Price, the senior from Decatur, Georgia.
And so far in this second half, Travis Leslie only has 2 points. He's a guy that led them before Trey Tompkins came back in scoring and rebounding. He needs to have more of a presence on the offensive end.
He doesn't even look like he's worked up a sweat. He comes to the ball right now and then runs away from it. Tompkins forced it down low to try and get get Leslie involved.
And it just seems like Georgia is out of sync offensively. Nobody taking the basketball and gaining control of the flow.
Very few people have taken this game under control at any stretch. Lyons has done it. And he tried to do it again, and another foul on Georgia. Push-off as McLean was going for the board. That'll be on Trey Tompkins, and just like that, Trey Tompkins now has 4 personal fouls. And an interesting decision now for Mark Fox with 5:49 left.
Well, I think you have to trust in your junior that he understands how to play with 4 fouls. But so far, Chris Mack and his team really executing the game plan, not allowing Georgia to push the ball down their throats in transition. Georgia with only 6 fast break points.
Alley and the Ute! Welcome back, Mr. Leslie. His 10th point of the game. And Athens is awake. Timeout, Xavier.
Well, this was his second option off the flex cut. You play up a little bit, he rides you up, and then he goes back door for the ESPN highlight play. You can't lose contact on him defensively. He's really good at moving without the basketball and utilizing Jeremy Price on that lower bottom screen.
Leslie's team-leading 33rd dunk of the season, and he is in double figures for the 18th time this season. Leslie, a preseason first-team All-SEC selection, and a guy who will be playing his ball at the next level.
The thing that makes it so difficult to guard Georgia is that sometimes they're so quick and efficient with the basketball that you have to stay down in a stance. If you rise up a little bit, these guys are so good and accurate at making quick cuts, backdoor cuts, or getting hit with a quick screen. They'll find a way to capitalize.
1-point game as we approach 5 minutes left. And a big jumper from Dante Jackson.
Dante Jackson, where you been all season? Shooting 32% from the three-point line, but the young man shooting the ball with confidence. 3 of 3 today from the three-point line.
Jackson now with 9 points. The lead back up to 4 for Xavier, which matches their largest advantage of the evening. Robinson trying to find something. Ware fakes it, drives, leans in, off balance, way off target.
Well, Ware had him in the air on the first possession. If he had jumped into him after the head fake, he would have been at the free throw line for 3. You got to see little plays like that and take advantage.
Trey Tompkins set to come back on for Georgia. He has 4 fouls. Holloway picks up a foul. And Holloway, the best free throw shooter in the Atlantic 10, will go to the line. 4th foul also now on Jeremy Price. So Price and Tompkins, the 2 starting bigs for the Bulldogs, now saddled with 4 fouls. Georgia 16-6 overall, 5-4 in conference play, and we talked with Mark Fox about the NCAA tournament, and he says, you know what, we need another road win somewhere, somehow. He thinks, though, that 500 or just above 500 in conference play, at least in the SEC East, should be good enough for Georgia to get the invite.
Well, I think they have to avoid letdowns, and we saw them almost not avoid that the past 2 games. A 1-point win at Arkansas where Trey Tompkins had to make a free throw to win that ball game, and then an overtime win at home versus Auburn. But when you look at their schedule coming up, and they're at South Carolina, they have Vandy coming here, which is, I think they have to get that win, and then they have 2 chances at Tennessee and at Florida. So they'll have a couple of chances to get that big-time road win that I think they need.
That's the half-full approach. The half-empty is you're taking on 3 ranked teams in your next 4 matches after this one with the Xavier team that is a borderline top 25 club.
And Florida, obviously, right now is leading the SEC East. And I'm going to make a statement right now about Tennessee. I think they're a team that could potentially get to the Final Four. They have the athletes. They have Scotty Hopson, who's a stud. Brian Williams is a beast down low. I mean, Tobias Harris is one of the most underrated freshmen in the country.
Tennessee in action, 9 Eastern tonight versus Kentucky. Bruce Pearl's SEC suspension is over, so they get their head coach back for the stretch drive. The bucket will not count. Xavier has stretched their lead to 6, the largest of the game for either team. 3:59 left from Athens. Well, here in Athens, Lowell, it's the road team, the Xavier Musketeers, on top of the Bulldogs by 6. Xavier and Michigan State, the only 2 teams in all of Division I basketball that have advanced to the last 3 Sweet 16s. Michigan State will be lucky to just get an invite to the NCAA tournament. They are NIT bound right now.
Losing their past 5 out of 6 games. Struggles continue for the Spartans.
Tompkins gets his first free throw of the night to fall. He now has a baker's dozen. This to cut the deficit to 4. Tompkins now leading all scorers with 14 points. Big defensive stand here for the Bulldogs needed. Xavier looks like they're going to try and work the clock here a little bit. Under 4 to go. Holloway. Holloway in the paint, off the glass. A big bucket for the junior from Long Island.
Well, sometimes when you play defensively with so much effort and so much intensity, if the offensive player gives you a slow little move, you're so jumpy, you might jump out of position. And Holloway able to make one of those slow moves and just attack the rim.
Holloway now with his 22nd double-figure game this season. He has 10. Good defense and a late foul called there on Jamel McLean.
And Chris Mack was livid at McLean in that situation. No need to reach. Continue to take him towards the half-court line and get a solid trap.
Instead, you put a solid free throw shooter on the line, and Dustin Ware, 83% from the charity stripe. Just the 4th point tonight for Ware. Baseline, kicks it out to Lyons. 8 on the shot clock. To Holloway, splits 2 defenders, and then cut underneath. Yeah, boy, he really could have been hurt there. And if that's on Tompkins, he is done.
That is on Tompkins. That is his 5th. He fell down to Holloway, able to split the screen, and looks like McLean gave him a little push. Tompkins fell off balance and able to get his 5th foul. Tough break.
So Tompkins done with 14 points and 9 rebounds.
And McLean gives him a little nudge, but if you look, Tompkins is kind of standing up, not really down in a defensive stance. And when you're not down low with the center of gravity, when you're standing up, you can be thrown off balance very easily, and that's what happened to Tompkins in that situation.
So Chris Barnes will come on for Trey Tompkins, who has just fouled out. And remember, their other big, Jeremy Price, is playing with 4 fouls as well.
But that foul does not even occur if you're able to really blitz Holloway the right way. You can't allow him to continue time after time after time to split that screen and roll.
Holloway now with 11 points. He is the Atlantic 10's leading free throw shooter. And he drops them both. The lead at 6. Leslie. Ware. 2.5 to go. Robinson taking on Holloway, drives. Offensive foul.
And I think that's a great call. That's the second or third time that Gerald Robinson has driven down the lane and extended that left hand with a push-off.
There's two Holloway in position to take it. Mark Fox is hot. Not sure what the call is here. Did Xavier get a timeout in time?
And I guess the main call is a 10-second call.
On Xavier, so Georgia will take it on the turnover. 2 minutes exactly to go. Ware from 3, no dice. Big board by McLean.
Well, if you're Georgia, there's no need to rush. You still have 2 minutes left to go in this ball game. I know the crowd is enthusiastic, but calm yourself down. You can't take a shot with 2 seconds going off the shot clock.
Turnover. Ware swiped away at the last second. They'll call a foul on McLean, who had the great hustle.
And those are the kind of plays that win ball games. That kind of hustle is something that you have to love from players like McLean. And it's a smart play. Listen, nothing easy. And also, let's remember, Georgia shoots 67.5% from the free throw line. So if anything, make them earn those baskets.
Third foul on McLean. Here's Dustin Ware. You see his numbers this season, 83% from the free throw line. And he drops another one down.
Dustin Ware, one of the leaders of this team, has a 3.7 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Doing a really good job just controlling the atmosphere for the Bulldogs.
4-point lead for Xavier. They have the ball. Lions.
If you're Georgia right now, you just want to play solid defense. Don't overextend yourself and stay disciplined.
To Holloway with 10 on the shot clock. And a foul with 6 on the shot clock, 1:01 on the game clock on Gerald Robinson.
Look right here. If you know the screen's coming towards your right, that's what the defender, Jeremy Price, is yelling out. You can't allow him to go towards his right hand. If anything, send them towards the screen. And if you're Jeremy Price, you can't come out there lackadaisically. You have to come out there with one arm attached to the person setting the screen and extend that right hand, not allowing Holloway to split the screen.
Holloway, the team's best free throw shooter, gets that one to drop. Third foul on Robinson. Already Georgia without Trey Tompkins, who was fouled out. Price also playing with 4 fouls for the Bulldogs. The lead goes back to 6. 1 minute left from Athens. Leslie. Barnes won't get it. And a quick foul by Leslie with 47.8 left in this one.
You got great penetration by Leslie and a solid find, but Barnes just couldn't finish the easy bucket. And this is where the game starts to get a little long. You start to send Xavier to the free throw line. They're the #1 ranked free throw shooting team in the A10, shooting 74% from the line.
McLean gets that one to go. He's just a 61% free throw shooter.
Thinking next play, if you're Georgia, no need for a quick rush three. Just try to get the ball, attack the paint, get into the gap.
Biggest lead of the night for Xavier. Robinson, spin, fall away, off target. Freeze picks it up and gives it to Lyons. Lyons avoids the foul. Lyons still dribbling, and now he's fouled by Price. Price is done. Lyons is up, and Xavier is in control of this one. Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Verizon Wireless, and it is that man, sophomore guard Mark Lyons, 13 points on 5 of 12, shooting 10 of those points coming in the second half.
When I got a chance to talk to Chris Mack earlier today, he said, you know, Jason, it's pivotal for our team to have Tu Holloway do well. And I said, Coach, if Tu Holloway doesn't do well, who needs to be the guy? He said, no doubt about it, Mark Lyons. And this is the kind of kid Mark Lyons is right here. He gets knocked down by the bigger Chris Barnes, who outweighs him by about 35 pounds, and he gets right back up with a smile on his face and walks towards the free throw line.
Yeah, second time Lyons has been banged up big time tonight. A hit early in this one sent him to the sidelines with a hip bruise, and he bounced right on back. Here's Lyons, big free throws here. He'll have 2. And Xavier pulling away right now, courtesy of the free throws. Tu Holloway having a conversation with my partner Jay Williams here, while his teammate Lyons makes only 1 of 2. Back to defense for you, Mr. Holloway. Leslie from 3, short. Rebound, Barnes put back, and a timeout.
Timeout, Georgia. That'll be a full time.
Georgia down 7 with 28-1 to go. We send it to the studio and Lowell Galindo.
Rob, appreciate it. This is what we have coming up next, the ACC. Look at Reggie Jackson smiling, ready to go. Will he be smiling after a little trip to Clemson? We'll find out next here on the U. Rob, back to the finish.
ACC contest on the backside, a non-conference matchup here in Athens as we take a look at Xavier's tournament resume. And 16-6, 8-1 overall. Joe Lunardi right now, ESPN's bracketologist, has Temple and Xavier as the 2 Atlantic 10 teams for now. Moving on to the NCAA tournament, Duquesne at 16-6, 8-1 in conference play. They've got a shot, as does a very strong Richmond team, 18-6 overall, 7-2, but we focus right now on Xavier. And this would probably be their biggest win, if not one of their top 3 biggest wins of the season.
Well, I think this win, considering now that we have 68 teams in the NCAA tournament, I think this win over Georgia on the road, a rare non-conference game mid-season, I think that puts them over the hump and gets them into the NCAA tournament for an at-large bid.
Xavier 0-1 versus the SEC this season. Coming into this game on New Year's Eve, they lost by 4 to Florida.
Now, don't get me wrong, they can't go on the road and have losses to St. Joseph's or some of the teams towards the bottom of the A-10, but you got to think if they're able to win this game here, pull this one out, and then go on the road, they beat Duquesne, they take care of the games they're supposed to take care of, they should belong in the tournament.
Up next for Xavier, a Sunday showdown at Duquesne, and then Wednesday at St. Joseph's. So this is the first of 3 straight road games for Chris Mack and his Musketeers. Tu Holloway, another free throw. Again, he had 0 points in the first half, did Holloway, and now he has 16.
This win was huge for Xavier because coming into this game, they were 1-2 in true non-conference road games. They lost at Miami. They also lost at Gonzaga, at Cincinnati, and they were only able to win at Rhode Island.
Air ball by Leslie, and the crowd starts to thin out here in Athens. Holloway will go to the free throw line again. A doubleheader tomorrow night here on ESPNU. Our friends Reese Davis and the coaches, Bob Knight and Digger Phelps, will call number 15 Louisville on the road at number 7 Notre Dame. Big East with 7 teams in the top 15. And then at 9 Eastern, number 22 Texas A&M taking on Colorado.
We got a chance today to watch a lot of guards, especially in Mark Lyons and Tu Holloway, who love to split screen and rolls. And I think Peyton Siva is one of the best guards in the country. He plays for Louisville at splitting screen and rolls too, especially when you have shooters in the wing like Preston Knowles and Chris Smith. It should be a great game at Notre Dame. Can't believe they're letting Digger call a game at Notre Dame.
I think he might have done some campaigning for it. Just a thought. And Xavier is set to improve to 17-6 as Coach Fox calls off the Bulldogs.
And I think overall it was the backcourt of Lyons and Holloway in the second half that took this game over. But also you got to give a lot of love to Kenny Freese down low with double-digit first half points to keep his team in this ballgame.
Chris Mack and Xavier with a huge road win versus a very talented SEC side in Georgia, and they improve to 17-6 overall with the 65-57 victory. Coming up next, ACC action. BC taking on Clemson. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Williams and our crew, I'm Rob Stone.